Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you this morning? All right, that's a very low, how are you? How are you? Are you awake? Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to tell you a few stories. The first story I'm going to tell you is that a few days back, I just landed from a dream destination. Anybody can guess where that is? I can hear. Any idea? Any country? New Zealand, exactly. New Zealand, right? I had the chance to spend 3 weeks in this amazing country, an amazing paradise, right? Immense blue skies, fluffy clouds, all these evergreen fields. It looked, everywhere I looked, it was like an Instagram picture, right? Even my brother was like, is that true, or did you actually change the filter? I'm like, no. Voila, no filter. So it was a beautiful moment, right? I was traveling, I was discovering beautiful vineyards. Let's see. Yeah. I had the chance to visit beautiful vineyards, to be horse riding through Lord of the Rings landscapes, to be hiking in sleepy volcanoes, to see wow landscapes, right? Landscapes like this. Anybody here has been to New Zealand before? No? Ah, okay. So I had this feeling of wonder and of amazement everywhere I was turning, right? Everywhere was wow, just this feeling of wow. It's a little tricky. Do I have to go this way with the pointer, like this? Yeah. So beautiful lakes, beautiful mountains. But little by little, after a few days, I had a very familiar feeling creeping back into my chest. A sense of rising anxiety, of strange discomfort. Little by little, no matter where I turned, even if everywhere around me was amazing, or perhaps because of this, I started feeling deeply lonely. I started feeling that I was miles and miles away from the people I loved. I started feeling that either I was nothing, right? So small in front of the sheer size of nature. And little by little, stories started creeping into my head. Different stories, right? What are you doing here? What's going on with your life? Why are you here alone, by the way? Where are you heading? What's going on with you? Who cares about you? And if you would disappear today, who would even notice? So these narratives started whirling into my head. And for me, this has been all the more present since the last 10 years. Because 10 years ago, I lost the person who gave birth to me, right? And I think that as many of us who might have lost our mom, we suddenly feel quite alone in this wild world. Suddenly we feel that the connection we had with the universe has been kind of cut, has been severed, right? Nobody will have our back anymore. Nobody will love us unconditionally, right? There's nothing like the love of a mom. And for the orphans that are here in this room, I guess we all connect with this idea of this solitude and this loneliness and this even feeling of abandonment can bring you to pretty dark places. So I started researching about it. And I realized that I was not the only one in this situation, right? There's this book, Loneliness, from John Cacioppo, which explains that it's actually in our DNA to be together and to need this connection. And when we don't feel this, when we are in a rocky, windy island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it's very natural that we actually feel fear. Because this primal fear of disconnection is what makes us humans. And that's what also made us survive. Because somebody who would get out of the tribe back in the day would face a very rapid death. And we both know this. Yet, today, even in Pakistan, we feel that we live in more and more individualistic societies. We are all the more connected digitally, but humanly, we live in very isolated worlds. This collective fear is actually something that many people use around us, right? I was yesterday going to the old city with Lamia, and we actually saw all the display for all the demonstrations that will take place this weekend. And all the politicians, all the religious leaders just tap into this fear. They know it. They know we have this fear of not belonging, of being isolated, of being rejected. So they tap into this, and that is a very, very useful tool to control us. This fear is also the base of our economic system, right? Look at our neighbor. They want to invade us. Look at these people who are coming to our countries. They want to ruin us. This is the base of capitalism. This is the base of the war economy that we've been thriving on for decades. And yet, all these fears are still driving us, right? The fear of loss, the fear of rejection. Who here didn't come to this event and is not kind of afraid of the networking moment? This awkward time when we'll have to stand up, say hi, and perhaps face, who are you? I don't know you and I don't want to talk to you. So we all live with these fears of abandonment, of loss, of shame that are within us. But fears are just stories. They're just narratives that we tell ourselves, narratives that our brains are creating. They are powerful. They're very powerful narratives, but that doesn't mean that we can't deconstruct them. They're powerful narratives because our very sensitive heart, who doesn't want to be hurt, is actually protecting itself through different armors. I'm a worrier, so the way I protect myself is imagining the worst, right? This is a way for me to protect myself from whatever bad thing can happen. Some do it through pleasing and trying to be as good and as nice as possible. Some numb themselves with work or Netflix or pills or alcohol, whatever it is, to stop feeling this fear. Or some disconnect. Myself, when I feel this, I just want to hide under my blanket and not talk to anybody, right? So these fears trap us into negative narratives. And us women are especially targeted by these negative narratives. We live in a world that actually believes that we are the cause of the fall of mankind. Amen. If that's not a problem, if that's not already a huge burden that we have to live with, we have all negative narratives surrounding us, right? Women can't drive, women are emotional, women have ups and downs. We have all these narratives that are part of our culture. Would it be in Pakistan or would it be in France? And these narratives start to creep into our souls and to impact our self-esteem. Men, when I go all around the world and when I work in different workshops, I'm surprised to see all women telling me, oh, but I don't have a lot of confidence. And I'm like, do you think it's only you? All the women I met all around the world. Why? Because we live among these negative narratives. So it takes a huge extra effort to get rid of them. And this confidence drop happens through puberty. It goes all along the life. 90% of women here are not happy about their body. 95% of cosmetic surgery is about women. Why? Male body is perfect, right? So we have such questions about who we are, which leads to the imposter syndrome and all the questions that we give ourselves about our reality and our capacity or legitimacy. So that is why it's really important to change the narratives in our heads, right? And to pass from this idea of the glass half empty to the glass half full, and to make it very consciously. That is what I do, basically. My work is to go all around the world and to work with different women in different countries and to work on their narrative, to help them deconstruct the narrative that either they've been immersed in or that the narrative that is in their head, and that they can take back agency on the story that they tell about themselves. So I'm going to give you a few tips that I give to these women. One first tip is to get to know more about positive psychology. Who knows about positive psychology here? A few of you. So psychology is usually used mostly, right, to solve problems, to solve depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, etc. But Martin Seligman in the 70s thought, okay, psychology is so powerful that we could actually use it to make human beings flourish, right? So what they did is that they realized what is the impact of or positive psychology DNA, basically, which is only 50% of our capital. And the rest is all about what we do and the experience we have. How we change between the abundance and the scarcity mindset, right? The scarcity mindset being that, oh, there's a pie and there's only one pie for all of us. And the abundance mindset being, the whole world is open. We'll make as much as possible, right? When somebody is trying to start a business, many tell me, oh, but this already exists. How many brands of clothes exist? How many brands of lipsticks exist? So having this idea of an abundance mindset helps a lot. Embracing the imperfections. You know the quote, no, for Leonard Cohen, there's a crack in everything. That's where the light goes in. So, do you know Brené Brown? Anybody here knows Brené Brown? Yes? A few of you? So if you don't, I really engage you to read her books, watch her talks, because she's extremely powerful in this. She shares her own vulnerability, her own doubts and limitations, but she explains how we really have to show our vulnerability, to embrace our imperfections, and that's how we actually create this connection that we are craving for. Amy Cuddy. Who has seen Amy Cuddy's talks? One or two of you? Okay, so she's got an amazing TED Talk called Your Body Language Shapes Who You Are. What she does is that she says that first we need to work on our body, not only to transmit an image to other people, but to actually transmit an image to ourselves. And this idea that if we use what we call power pose, which is more about spreading the body, opening the shoulders, opening the hips, we actually feel powerful after only 3 minutes. And if we have this kind of pose that we all have, right, looking at our cell phones before an interview or whatever, crossing our legs, especially the girls, we are all crossing our legs, the girls right now, especially on stage, right? we transmit an idea of low purpose. So I'm going to ask you all to stand up. Come on. Stand up, all of you. Yes. And I'm going to ask you to power pose. So you have 3 power poses, okay? You have the Wonder Woman power pose. You have the I won the race power pose. And you have the I'm doing a Skype and I don't care power pose. Okay? So choose whatever power pose you want and try to keep it for at least 10 seconds and see how it feels. How powerful you actually feel. And that's what she advises to do before a job interview, before going on stage, before doing something that is stressful, and transmitting this to your body, to your mind, and to your brain. Thank you. You can sit down. Do you smile enough? This is also an easy tip, right? They say that if you actually put a pen in your mouth and you force your body to smile, just the fact that you do this, it sends the message to your brain that you're actually happy. And the best thing about this is that actually people who smile more live longer. So if you don't know what to do at the break, just smile. Smile to the person in front of you. Smile to the person at the buffet. Smile to the people outside and see how it goes and see how you feel. The first thing is that usually people smile back because they're like, right? They're like, okay, this person is smiling. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to smile back anyway. So it feels good, right? So it's an easy happiness kick, basically. And then work on your mind. Your mind is everything. I was talking about all the stories, right? It's so easy to get into these powerful stories. So one of the tools that you might know is meditation. Meditation being Buddhist meditation or being prayer or being doing something while being actually into what you're doing. But they say that it has so many benefits, right? For the heart, for the soul. And I really love this quote because I'm really bad at meditation. I'm super active, so for me to sit down just 10 seconds and breathe, after 5 seconds I'm already thinking about what I'm going to have to do after that. So they say you should meditate once a day, and if you don't have time for that, meditate twice a day. It helps to rewire your brain, and if you're active like me and if you can't sit down, clean your closet. So Marie Kondo in Japan is making millions just by the idea of helping people clean their closets. She has like a crazy YouTube channel and books and whatever, and she tells you how to put it. And basically her whole motto is, you declutter your life, you declutter your mind. You can do that with toxic people as well, that works. And the last thing is mind your language, right? Language is powerful. I love this quote of Maya Angelou, again, an amazing writer, and she says, people don't remember what you do. People don't remember what you said, but people remember how you make them feel. So, mind your language. Another really good book to read is The 4 Agreements, right? Which is talking about this. And one of the first agreement is be impeccable with your words. I'm not very good at that either, I have to be very honest, but I'm trying. I'm on the process. But the idea to say, mind your language, right? It's all about karma. When we send stress and aggressive language or even judgment around the world, it all comes back. So minding your language means accept compliments. I don't know if you've seen this video from Amy Schumer, right? But basically we're very bad, especially women, at accepting compliments, no? Somebody's like, oh, I like what you're wearing. You're like, no, it's okay. You know, it's my sister-in-law who gave it to me because she didn't want it anymore and whatever. No. Say thank you. Shut up and say thank you, right? Anybody comes to you and say, oh, your talk was nice. Oh, I really like what you're wearing or whatever. And you're like, you automatically want to justify or say, oh, it wasn't that good, blah, 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 blah. Thank you. And give compliments. It's free. It makes people happy. Give compliments. Stop apologizing. Have you seen this ad from Pantene, right? The sorry, not sorry. We women say sorry all the time. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. oh, I'm doing this, sorry, oh, I'm opening the door, sorry. Stop apologizing. And stop using shrinking language, right? I meet a lot of women entrepreneurs who are like, oh, I have this tiny project. I'm actually doing this small business. Stop it. They say that as women entrepreneurs, when we try to raise funds, we ask for less often, right? Because we have this scarcity mindset in us. So we really need to make an active effort to change the story. And stop judging others. And that goes to a lot of Pakistani people around here because I know, right? I know how people here like to judge and like to gossip. So when I do workshops here, one thing that I do is that I put people in a line and I just ask them, sometimes co-workers, bosses with their employees, to tell each other what they like about each other. At the beginning, they're like, what? It's really uncomfortable. If I would have said, tell the person what you don't like, they would have been there forever, right? But I asked them to make this conscious effort. And the first time, it's uncomfortable. But after, we do it like 2, 4, 3, 4 times with different colleagues. It's amazing. Again, it's a very cheap and free exercise, and it's something that energizes the team because you actually realize that people like things about you. So how do we change this mindset and try to convey positivity in the way we talk? And finally, practice gratitude, right? I'm really thankful to be here today. I'm really thankful to be in Pakistan during these weeks and to be speaking in front of all of you and to have this slot of time so that I can interact with you. And this whole effort of gratitude makes you feel better. It's like a magic wand, right? The gratitude. So again, something that I do a lot is I ask students or I ask people in my workshops to write gratitude letters. So I tell them to pick 5 people they love, or they don't love, that's fine, and to write thank you to them. What are they thankful for? It can be to their father, mother, it can be to somebody who already passed away. But what are you thankful for? I did this with my dad, right? And he was crying. My brother did this to me for my birthday. And it was very cheap, he was happy. But it was amazing, right? It's so positive to receive this. And another idea is to have just next to your bed a gratitude journal, something where you actually write down the 2, 3 things that are positive about your day. Why? Because it rewires your brain. What do we do when we go to bed? 1, we ruminate about the bad things that happened during the day, right? This person told you this, or the boss told you that, or this nasty email. Or we already stress about all the things that we have to do tomorrow. But we never take time to actually note, I don't know, just the sun that is outside, the beautiful umbrellas, right, on the way to here. The decoration, the people you met, the conversation you had, small things. And the more you do this, you know you create a habit in like 21 days, they say, right? The more you do this, the more you train your brain to notice these kind of things. It's biology, no? It's not like mystery. So gratitude. They did the longest study in Harvard about what actually makes us happy. It's not money, it's not cars, it's not houses, it's not possessions, it's the quality of your human relationships and our human connections. That is what makes us happy. So cultivate this. And that's the deepest system change, right? From love over fear. From passing from the fear to love, from ego to trust, from this judgment that we have in us. And this judgment is just from our fear, let's be clear, right? I fear that I'm going to be rejected, so I judge that other person, right? I fear that I'm not going to be good enough to get there, so I just criticize this other woman who actually got there. This is the fear driving us. Again, and fears are just stories we tell ourselves. How we can go from this feeling of loneliness to communion, right? From I am different to we are one. And this is a change that actually takes place from within. You were talking about this before, about how we change from within to the external. Because we are one, and as Rumi was saying, don't feel lonely. The whole universe is within you. So, which is the story that you choose? Do you choose the victim story? Do you choose the sad, depressed story? Do you choose the story where you didn't actually have a choice of what you're doing, what you're going to do, who you are? Or are you going to pick the story of who you are and make it happen? You are the hero of your own story. You are the heroine of your own story. I really like this quote of Carl Jung that says, "I'm not what happened to me, I am what I chose to become." So, it's time, right? It's time to change the narrative. And at two levels, we need to change the narrative, because those who actually write and tell the stories are the ones who rule the world. So we need to change the stories at collective level, because we need more stories from and about women. When I was in Australia and New Zealand, I saw a lot of books like this in all the bookshops. Many books showing all the amazing women who are doing something in this world. In Australia, they even have a magazine called Womankind, right? That is only talking about us. Not about fashion, what we can buy, how we can get a diet or find a new husband. No, about us. About the amazing things that we've done. About people who are trying to do better things around this world. And it's a magazine, a full magazine. So we're working on this. I'm happy to say that we're working on this. We just signed a contract with Penguin, with some friends here in Pakistan, to actually publish a book celebrating 40 inspiring, amazing women from Pakistan, and it should be published at the end of the year. So this is about changing the narrative outside. But the last thing I want to give you, and it's a long quote, but I'm going to read it to you. It's again from Brené Brown, because I think that there are a lot of young women, but there are also a lot of midlife women, I would say, like me. And I want to leave you with this beautiful quote. "I think midlife is when the universe gently places her hands upon your shoulders, pulls you close and whispers in your ear, 'I'm not screwing around. It's time.' All of this pretending and performing, these coping mechanisms that you've developed to protect yourself from feeling inadequate and getting hurt, has to go. Your armor is preventing you from growing into your gifts. I understand that you needed these protections when you were small. I understand that you believed your armor could help you secure all of the things you needed to feel worthy of love and belonging. But you're still searching, and you're more lost than ever. Time is growing short. There are unexplored adventures ahead of you. You can't live the rest of your life worried about what other people think. You were born worthy of love and belonging. Courage and daring are coursing through you. You are made to live and love with your whole heart. It's time to show up and be seen. Thank you.